Okay, welcome to another episode of the Pearce Brothers. I'm Jake. Today we're doing our very first episode of At the Firing Line with the Pearce Brothers. So, Joe, you want to talk about what we're doing?
Sure. So I guess the purpose of these videos is going to be to kind of showcase different guns. So we'll each bring a gun to the video, and then we'll all take turns shooting all of those guns and give our thoughts on that gun. So different features of the gun, what we like, what we didn't like, and I guess the purpose of the videos is to help showcase different guns and a variety of guns from each of us, and then talk about new guns that have come out or guns that we've had for a while that we like. And kind of similar to our campfire videos, we'll cover different topics and have kind of different genres, but at the same time have some that are just open to bring whatever gun you'd like. And we'll talk about features we like, features we don't like, and it'll give us each a chance to shoot different guns that maybe we haven't shot before and give our thoughts on them.
We're going to try to keep it with in-production guns too, so that way, you know, if you want to go buy one, they're easy to get a hold of, or semi-easy.
Yep. I guess we'll start with Dad, talk about what gun you've got, and we'll work our way down the line, and then we'll dive into the shooting portion.
So I've got a C Sharps Arms model 1874 side hammer chambered in 4570. This is the Hartford model, has the Hartford barrel collar, has a ladder rear sight, has the military style butt plate, upgraded wood, French gray accents, octagon barrel, 30-inch. Of course, got the set triggers. Very, very accurate rifle. This particular gun was fitted with a Badger barrel. It's a real shooter, very accurate gun. Those not familiar with 1874 Sharps, of course, we have some actually very good Italian import guns coming in right now, mostly through Pearce, but C Sharps Arms and Shiloh Sharps Arms, or Shiloh Sharps, began manufacturing them in about 1975-76, and they are both 100% U.S. made. They're very, very high quality guns. They both have fairly long back orders. Shiloh is currently about 30 months, which is down from what they were a couple years ago when it was even longer. C Sharps Arms, they're running about 12 to 14 months right now. But every gun, they're not mass produced. Every gun is individually made with perfect wood to metal fit. Whatever features that you want on that gun can be ordered. The Sharps rifles were an incredible part of history. They actually kind of put U.S. on the map in long-range international competitions in accuracy. They were a very significant gun on the frontier for accuracy and power. They were chambered for many big-bore cartridges. They, of course, have been used in 1,000-yard plus competitions. They still are to this day. One of the more famous events involving a Sharps rifle was, of course, the Billy Dixon story. There was 28 buffalo hunters, if I remember correctly, that had been pinned into the adobe walls by more than 700 Comanche and Kiowa Native Americans, and they'd been told that the bullets could not reach them, and Billy Dixon is very famous. He was a very good shot at the time. He had a borrowed Sharps rifle in big 50 calibers, they called it, and everybody kept telling him to take this shot. Well, he finally took the time and made this shot and took a warrior off of his horse at 1,538 yards. Incredible distance, especially for a 50, because the 45s and such were better, longer range cartridges anyway, but it was a borrowed rifle. He'd been using it for a few days, but it was still a borrowed rifle. Now, this wasn't, it's kind of a disputed shot in history, because a lot of people say, oh, they just stepped it off. No, actually, an Army surveyor measured the shot later and determined it to be 1,538 yards. And so the Sharps, but again, international target shooting and so forth, in the day, the Sharps became a very, very respected rifle. The model 1874 side hammer was only produced from about 1881 to about 1871 to about 1880. Only about 9 years, but it's a legend to this day. It is, and in fact, people that own these guns, they're cherished. And this gun capable of minute of angle accuracy with the proper load. So that's what everybody will have a chance to shoot today.
Yep.
Okay, I'm Jake. Today we're going to be shooting a Cimarron 1873 carbine. This is the saddle ring carbine version, so it's got the saddle ring here, round barrel, of course the barrel bands like the carbines do, carbine butt stock there. So these are currently made by Uberti. This one's chambered in 45 Colt, holds 10 rounds. Very nice handling little lever actions. The 73 is still probably my favorite lever action. They're just very smooth, very reliable. You know, the cartridge basically just feeds straight into the chamber with the lifter there. Historical wise, they never did chamber these in 45 Colt back in the old West days. That's a whole separate video in itself. But of course the modern ones with modern 45 Colt brass are able to achieve that. But yeah, really good little shooters. I really like the carbines in particular. They're just, in my opinion, they look better and just a little more practical. The rifles with the rifle butt just a little sharp, and but yeah, I always just did like the carbines. Some famous users throughout history, of course, Billy the Kid carried a 73 carbine. But yeah, that's what we'll be shooting here today. So
I've got my Smith & Wesson. This is a pretty new gun. It's the Metal Carry Comp from Smith & Wesson. Just came out here about a month ago. This is an all-metal alloy frame. It's got a compensated barrel. Kind of a new feature for Smith & Wesson on their M&P line. So we did a full review on this here a couple weeks ago when it was fairly new. So everybody else will get a chance to shoot it today and give their thoughts on it. But pretty new, innovative gun from Smith & Wesson.
Okay, so I'll be going over my Steyr 9mm. I've done a few videos on this in the past. I bring it on a lot. It is one of my favorite handguns to shoot. But yeah, I guess in this case, everyone will get to shoot it today. But yeah.
Yep, and then Porter's not here, but he's off being busy on vacation. So
He's at a rodeo. He's at the Pendleton Roundup. Well, we're here working.
yeah.
So he wanted to review the Ruger PC9 carbine, which is kind of an interesting little gun. I did a review on his several years ago, and that gun shot extremely well. They're of course the 9mm, as everyone knows, is very inexpensive to purchase and plink with and so on. This particular gun has a very quick takedown feature. Locks up good and solid, good positive head spacing. You can switch the magazines from the standard Ruger magazine to a Glock. It comes with the hardware right when you buy that, to change that over if you desire. Got an aperture rear sight, which is interesting. It's got a combat style wing protected front. It is threaded for accessories. It's of course got a Picatinny mount top rail for more accessories, and they're modestly priced. I'm not sure where retail is right now, but I think they're running about $600 street price, maybe $550 on a good sale or something. But modestly priced, but very accurate, fun guns to shoot. This gun, Porter has one he shoots and uses, and that's the one he'll review. This gun has never been fired. We just simply opened up today out of the box, and here it is. So you'll see the first rounds fired through this gun. But anyway, that's, the PC9 carbine. So very popular gun with a modest price. So,
Yep. All right. I guess we'll dive into some shooting now.
So when you shoot a Sharps 1874, the proper way is there's 3 hammer positions. Of course, there's the full cock, the fire position, and the so-called safety notch. Typically, you're going to bring it to full cock after you've loaded the gun. You pull the set trigger, and then, of course, the super light trigger pull at that point. And I'm cushioning that hammer because I don't like to dry fire them. After you fire the round, then you should bring it to the safety notch, drop your lever open, otherwise it can damage or even break the firing pin. So that's the proper method. Also, you never set the set trigger in this position and then cock it. That should always be, it should always be cocked, set the set trigger, and then get on target. And incidentally, this rifle sighted for 500 grain bullets at about 1300. Today we're just going to be using Black Hills cowboy loads, a pleasant, easy shooting load to 405 grain cast at about 1200 feet per second. Out of the 30-inch barrel, it's probably going a little faster, but again, this gun is super accurate, very, very fun to shoot, very modest recoil due to its weight, and we'll just try a couple of targets here. Whoops. Whoops.
Should I go up and set it up?
Yeah, we'll run and set the target back up.
So the 4570 is known for having a lot of wallop, and again, that's a light load, but these guns are made of modern steels, and in fact they're suitable for any loads, hand loads or factory loads that are designed for Martin lever actions. And so you're talking 43,000 psi in that range. And in fact, C-Sharps will recommend starting loads for the Ruger #1, which you're talking with a 30-inch barrel. You're able to push a 430 grain cast bullet at 2200 feet per second in that range. Just a lot of power there, and yet the recoil still remains mild because of the weight of the rifle. We can do that video another day, but the 4570 has an incredible reputation on big game and so forth. I myself have used it a lot. Countless animals I've taken with the 4570, so I've got a lot of respect for that cartridge. We'll shoot just one more. We won't break the little target. We'll just for fun shoot that one, and they hit hard even though they're slow. Thanks.
Okay guys, my turn on the sharps. I'll shoot one more. Don't want to shoot all Dad's ammo. That one went off before I was ready. Very cool rifle. I've had my eye on the sharps for a long time, and might have to get myself one now. Joe, I think it's your turn.
I've always loved a good sharps rifle. Growing up, we watched Quigley Down Under a lot, so this is probably on my bucket list for guns I need to get. That gun's heavy enough, you don't get a whole lot of recoil with it. I mean, it still packs a good punch, but let's see if I can hit that little the little baby target that Dad knocked the target over with. There we go. Didn't make the target fall over though. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet rifle. Like Dad mentioned, real pretty wood, very well made. Everything's nice and tight. but kind of a classy old rifle if you like a good old Western movie. So
Okay, never shot this before, so well, I guess I just really shot a test shot once, so we'll see if I can hit it again. Yeah, I'm not used to quite a setup like this on any guns, so still trying to get used to it without destroying anything, so.
see how light that trigger is after you set the set trigger?
Yeah, you have to like up and raise and aim before you hit the set trigger, so that I see what you meant by that now, Jake.
Yeah, when mine went off before I was ready, I was gonna go for a headshot on that steel target, and I was almost had the sights right where I wanted, and then tapped that trigger a little too soon. So
yeah, I'm used to my Uberti 45 where you can just like cock, then just slowly like have your finger on the trigger. This is like hair trigger.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you barely even tap it, and it just.
Incidentally, you don't have to use the set trigger.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, okay.
And it'll keep it a heavier trigger pull.
There we go. Let's try some of the mini targets. I think this is like more intimidating than it is once you get started, because I was kind of worried I was gonna mess this up, but just watch someone else do it, then it's actually easy to do, so. Yeah. Let's say one more, then we'll call it good. Let's go for the little one. Haha. Well, I actually like that a lot more than I thought I was going to. That was going to be a real pain to like work and stuff, but
They're fun, aren't they?
don't you love the smell of gunpowder?
So that was fun. I watched everybody else shoot this too. I got a comment that these are all marked Old Reliable on top of the barrel, and that was actually a name given to the guns by the hunters that used them in the field, the buffalo hunters, grizzly hunters, and so forth, because a couple of three reasons really applied to that. One, they were reliable because they gave a lot more power than most other guns at the time, and so adequate cartridges for big game. The other thing was they were ultra reliable in accuracy. You just lay there and hit the same target all day with these things. Again, these became internationally famous with many target shooters, but they really put American shooters on the map. But the other reason they were ultra reliable, the action was very rugged and very simple. Out on the frontier all day shooting black powder loads and so forth, they just didn't break down. Very simple, strong action, and that's why they became known as Old Reliable, and still to this day that name fits.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna shoot the gun I brought today. That Cimarron 1873 carbine. A couple things I forgot to mention: the 73s do have a dust cover on the front. They do have the carbines have the ladder sight, which I really like. I think it's cool. Yeah, and they also have this little safety thing right there. So if you don't have that depressed, you can't pull the trigger. You have to make sure the lever's all the way depressed. So let's go and load it up and shoot it. These were really famous on the American frontier because it's kind of like the Sharps. They were just a very reliable action. So they gained a lot of popularity with lawmen and outlaws throughout the Old West days. And I think Winchester, didn't they keep these in production, Dad, till like 1912 or something like that? I'm glad that we have these reproductions on the market, because you can shoot modern ammo in them. They're not the strongest action in the world like a Marlin, but you can still handle some pretty decent loads nowadays. So A lot of fun.
So yeah, these 73s are great, great rifles. Uberti's been making them since about 1973 or 74, and they've got it down. They work very well. Especially glad they chambered in 45 Colt. A couple things I was going to make the point on too, that Buffalo Bill, who was kind of like the ultimate Hollywood star, but before Hollywood, of course, back in the 1870s through well after the turn of the century, loved by his showmen that worked for him and so forth, but it's remained his favorite rifle even after the model 1892s and those were introduced. And the 73, even though it's a toggle link action, these side plates come off and it strips down very easy, but it's a toggle link action. It's not known for being the strongest, but Uberti does offer it in 44 Magnum, but that takes special heat treating processes to get that kind of strength. But again, in 45 Colt, it's great shooting modern ammo, having plenty of strength, great durability in them, and very smooth. And as you can see, watch how that carrier picks up that cartridge and just rams it straight into the chamber. Very good system, very reliable system. And these go back to the old King patents. The Smith & Wesson ultimately sold to, became into the Henry lever actions, and Oliver Winchester was a major stockholder there. And so that's where the patents of that came from. And, volcanic lever action, which wasn't a very good handgun design. So anyway, kind of an interesting piece of history there, but there you go. Great rifles.
All right, my turn, I suppose. We'll load her up here. I've always loved a good lever action. We grew up shooting a lot of Henry and Winchester 22 lever actions. Those were kind of our primary rifles as kids. We'd go out hunting and shooting with them pretty much every day. And for that reason, I kind of shooting ammo back at myself here. For that reason, I've always loved a good lever action. And who doesn't love a good 45 Colt? It's kind of a fun little rifle.
You only miss like 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of that Henry and get yourself a man's gun.
Yeah,
a man's Winchester.
Yeah, that's a nice, smooth, easy handling little gun. So, a lot of fun.
Barrel's kind of hot from all you guys.
We're just trying to sabotage you, Will.
Unbelievable. Can't believe you've done this. But if this is anything like my lever action, I think I should enjoy it. Which it pretty much is. Okay. Perfect score, guys.
Yeah. Is Will the only one that didn't miss any?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great little gun you got there, Jake. Yeah.
All right, guys, so we're going to do the Smith & Wesson M&P Metal Carry Comp next. We've got a full review out on this, so go watch that if you haven't. It's a pretty sweet gun. We took the optic off, went back to the irons. It has a U-notch in the rear, and Jake and I were talking about this last time we were out shooting this, and that U-notch in the back, it's got kind of a larger U-notch, so we're not as big of fans as the iron sights as we'd like to be. We're gonna put an aim point acro on there at some point here, but let's do a little shooting with it. I couldn't hit the little one, but I like that it's a metal frame gun. I like a little heavier gun. But that being said, we weighed this, so with an empty magazine, and it weighed only 4 ounces more than an empty Glock 19. So having that metal frame doesn't add that much weight, as much as you would think. The compensator does make it a little loud, but it's a nice, easy shooting gun. So let's see what everybody else thinks about it.
Well, it's an interesting gun. It's obviously a stylish gun for the new generation, as you'd call it, with all the tactical cutouts and so forth and so on. It's definitely futuristic looking. My initial impressions are, just right off the bat though, is I like the feel of the grip. It actually feels really comfortable. When you get into it, you feel locked with it, so it's not gonna. The trigger reset feels positive, not too long, pretty wild looking, but very comfortable. And like Joe said, it's not a heavy gun, even though it's all metal. So let's see how it runs. Well, that's very comfortable shoot, very low recoil. The trigger went off a time or two before I was ready, because I was expecting it to be heavy as most striker fired pistols are, and it's much cleaner break and lighter. Be interesting to put a trigger pull scale on that and see what it actually breaks at.
Yeah, it breaks just less than 5.
Yeah.
So
those are the very first rounds I've ever fired in that gun. Once I get settled in with it, I'm sure that gun's going to shoot very well. You're right, though, the rear sight's a little odd with that U-notch, but yeah, but very interesting gun. Very positive. I think that Smith & Wesson will probably sell a ton of those. So, yeah, I like that trigger reset too. Good gun.
Okay, guys. I've never shot this gun before either. This is Joe's gun. Slide's not too hot yet. We only put 2 mags to it, but Joe was saying the slide heats up pretty good after a few mags. So we'll see if that's true. Malfunction.
oh no, is that our first ever malfunction in a Smith & Wesson?
Light primer strike, huh?
Yeah. Could be the ammo. Is that Browning?
That's Winchester.
That one's a Winchester.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that U-notch sight. Actually better than I thought I would when I'm actually shooting it. At least for a bigger target like that, steel plate. I'm going to turn to the smaller ones and see for precision work how it works. Uh-oh, another one.
What'd you do to the gun?
The gun's not in battery.
Oh, interesting.
I broke Joe's gun. Give us a minute and we'll get this open. Okay, yeah, so my hypothesis is this compensator is basically the slide rides over top of it, and it's just letting a lot more carbon back into the action than normal. But you can see how dirty that barrel is. The slide was about the same. Joe said you had about 700 through it without cleaning, so I'm just taking a little ballistol, wiping off some of that carbon and residue, and then we'll try it again. Okay, guys, so we just got through cleaning it up a little bit. It's had about a little over 1,000 rounds now through it, 700 since the last cleaning, so we'll see if it's working now. Those are the very first malfunctions Joe and I have ever had through a M&P. I've owned 3 of them. My wife currently has one. They're generally really reliable, so that's a little weird to have that happen, but something was going on because it happened 2 times pretty close together, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put one more mag through it. Seems to be working pretty good now. So I think that's all it was. I think that's my hypothesis, is that compensator, where it's an internal comp just putting stuff back in the action. So might be one you have to clean a little more. Other than that, it's a pretty flat shooting gun, like Dad was saying. Trigger's really good for a striker fired pistol. Good aggressive texturing on it, so it pretty controllable. I like it.
Well, let's see if I can cause this thing to break too. I do like the pattern on that. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so far no issues. Yeah, a little hard to tell where I'm hitting, but so far I'm liking it. I actually kind of like that. I think the sight's a little weird. I think I'm just too used to my Steyr, but I actually like that gun quite a bit.
All right, so Jake kind of mentioned cleaning and that, and first time I took this out and shot it, I noticed how dirty it was. So I put 300 rounds through it then, took it home, cleaned it. We then put another, I think about 400-ish for the first review we did. And since then we've got another 300, so we're just over 1,000 rounds. So it took about, but seeing how dirty it was that first time, I kind of wanted to see how long I could go and if it would affect functionality at all. And so it did. We hit about 700 rounds without cleaning, and it started to have those issues. So we'll keep shooting it a lot and see how it does. But yeah, we think that was just getting pretty dirty, so it needed a little extra oil and some cleaning to get it going back to normal. So
okay, so like I said during the intro, I'll be shooting my 9mm Steyr handgun. This is one of my more favorites on it. I have a little light and laser system on there, although I haven't actually used it that much because typically we are shooting during the day, so there's really no point for me to do that. I've mainly just been focusing on the sights, which if you look down them, it is definitely quite the different sights, like a triangle shape. Kind of reminds me almost like something you'd see in Halo or something, but yeah.
And that's why Will loves this gun.
Yes. Great game series. That was weird. Okay. guess next up would be Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this interesting gun. It's got very low axis of the bore, so recoils doesn't lift much. It's more back, very controllable that way. But let's just run her through and see what happens. What's interesting about that is the sight. Very, very unusual sight picture. These guns have a very good reputation for reliability, durability. Again, they're very low line of axis of the bore with the hand, so you're right behind the gun when it goes off. The grip frame's a little blocky compared to the Smith we were just shooting, but it's still comfortable. I like how the cutout here and palm swell is. Allows you to get into it good. But yeah, it's a little unusual looking. It definitely looks European. And interesting gun. Good gun.
Okay, guys, so shooting Will's Steyr L9A2. So, never shot this gun before. We'll see how it goes. I like that actually quite a bit. That's those sights, like, they're very unusual, kind of like a triangle type thing. Trigger is actually really good, not much take up, nice soft break, and a pretty short reset. Yeah, that's actually a pretty nice handgun.
All right, let's see how Will's hunk of junk does here. Yeah, like Dad mentioned, very low bore axis. The grip feels a little blocky, but has a good angle on it. I've never shot it, so let's see how this trigger feels. The sights are a little weird. I've looked at the gun before and seen it, but see if I can hit anything with them. Let's see if we can hit the little guys. Couldn't hit the smaller steel, but did okay on the bigger ones. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting gun. It has a similar grip angle, I would say, to a Glock. The bore axis though is obviously much lower, but yeah, shoots pretty smooth. The sights are definitely weird. I'd have to shoot it quite a bit to get used to those. But yeah, kind of a neat gun, unique gun, I should say. So
this is again what Porter chose, a Ruger PC9 takedown. Very cool rifle. This particular gun, the first time it's ever been fired right here. I just put in 10 rounds, a 17 round magazine, but we'll see what it does. Have no idea where it's sighted, by the way. Well, hitting pretty much the point of aim right out of the box. That's not real precision shooting, obviously, but at least it's on target, good enough to do a little fine tuning. Very comfortable to shoot rifle, fun actually. Especially for the price point that these are offered at, they're great little rifles.
Okay, guys, my turn with the Ruger PC Carbine. It's a pretty fun little shooter. You can feel that bolt come back. Just a direct blowback, and that's a heavy bolt, so you can feel that come back. So it's got a kind of a unique recoil impulse, but it's not like it's hard to control, you know. It's just pretty fun.
All right, well, I'm loading up here. A feature on this gun that's nice is that the charging handle is reversible, so you can swap it to either side. And then, like Dad mentioned earlier, you can it comes with a Glock mag well that you can stick in there, so it'll run with Glock mags. That's how I have my wife set up. I've never actually shot one though, so I got one for my wife a few years ago for Christmas, and I've never shot one. So let's see how it shoots. Me personally, I would run the charging handle on this side so that you could reload and then run your bolt from this side without moving your strong arm, so to say. Yeah, it's kind of a fun little gun. But yeah, like Jake mentioned, you feel that bolt coming back, and that's about the only recoil you'll get out of a 9mm carbine like this. Yeah, kind of a neat little gun. And obviously going to a Glock mag, you can find mags everywhere. They're cheap, affordable, and that comes straight from the factory, so you don't have to buy any extra parts to do that.
So, like all of us, this is my first time shooting this gun, but we'll see how well I do with it. But okay, that's actually a pretty good gun. I kind of like that. Wait.
Well, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to shoot with us on the firing line today. We've kind of shot a variety of guns. We had a lot of fun doing it. It's always great being out. My son's shooting. We'll be doing more of these. Let us know in the comments particular guns you'd like us to maybe include in the future. These are informal, but they introduce people to different models, different ideas of shooting, even new guns, new products. Maybe we'll do a classic gun review in a similar fashion someday, but for right now we're going to focus on the current production gun stuff. You can literally call up the company or your distributor or dealer and order the very gun, or go down to the sporting goods store and buy one. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time
on the Pearce Brothers.